Are you using Facebook free traffic for affiliate marketing? Maybe you didn't even know that there was free traffic on Facebook. In today's video, we're going over how you could use a powerful Chrome extension to get leads from Facebook on autopilot. Welcome to Entrepreneur's Toolbox. I'm Jonathan and I'm here to help you find the tools to build income online. I upload new videos every week, so make sure that you subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified every time that a new video goes live. The tool that I'm talking about is called Friend or Foe. Basically, what Friend or Foe does is when somebody sends you a friend request on Facebook, this Chrome extension auto messages them back. Our time is valuable and we have better things to do than manually going through our friend requests to weed out the spammers. By doing this, you're actually qualifying your leads as well as possibly collecting contact information so you can reach out to them later.
Tonight, what we wanted to talk about is, again, Facebook profiles, Facebook friends, how to know which friend requests to accept or not. Because what happens is when we start using Facebook for business, we all start getting bombarded with friend requests. And, when you start online, obviously you have quite a lot of time and you can go through the friend requests manually. But after a while, I certainly started to become completely overwhelmed and not quite knowing which one to accept and which one not to accept. I don't know if that was the case with you, Jonathan, but I'm guessing it was.
Absolutely. It's more of also a time constraint. There's just so much time that just going through everybody and putting it on yourself. Somebody sends you a friend request and then you're putting all that time on yourself to go through their profile. And I don't know about you, Sophie, but 90% of the people that send me friend requests, they're mostly spammers that just want to get something from me and not something that we can, work together.
Exactly. That's exactly the case with me. I mean, absolutely. There's a huge amount of spammers, a huge amount of people who want to sell to me. And then, it's a question of going through these and deciding which ones to accept or not. So as you say, Jonathan, as we progress online, we just don't have the time to do it. So it's a case of, you were saying before we went live, it's a case of either hiring someone to do the work for us or using an automated tool really that will help us with that. So that's what we wanted to, show everybody what we use. We both use the same tool, which is called Friend or Foe. And we wanted to, I'll share my screen, I'll show you how the tool works and also then how we decide, which friend request to accept or not. And what I certainly have a few indicators that tell me when this is going to be a good person to accept or not, really. So this is the actual extension called Friend or Foe. Both Jonathan and I have videos on our YouTube channels about the extension if you want to know more about it. But, this is really to show you how it works. So, this extension, basically, you write out some messages. So I have 2 message templates that I've written, but you can have up to 10 different messages. I don't know how many you have, Jonathan. Do you?
I have about 6 right now, but occasionally I add a new one and I just make it fresh and add it in. And one of the key things about this is it randomly grabs one of these messages. And then as you could see right there, it's kind of small on the screen, but you could put the code that says the person's name. And what it will do is it will pull the person's first name. So if Sophie sent me a friend request, it would reply to Sophie. It would be like, "Hi, Sophie, thank you for sending me a friend request." And it feels more personal that way. As I mean, in some of mine, I actually say that it is a bot, that this is an automatic response. I admit to that. And, to say, hey, this is an automatic response. I'm just trying to find out how we met. Could you just let me know where we met or where we know each other just to make sure that this is going to be a good connection? That way you're pre-qualifying the people and you're not wasting either of your time.
Exactly. I do exactly the same thing, Jonathan. I basically say, I get some friend requests that are not so friendly. I'd love to know, where did we meet? There I say, where did we meet? Or how did you find me? I look forward to your reply, but I do put a PS and I say, this is a message I send automatically using a super friendly Chrome extension. I do admit to it, but yeah, it still, as you say, feels very personal because you can personalize it. And as you said, Jonathan, you know, if you click on this, it alternates messages. So it kind of basically doesn't send the exact same message to everybody. And, you know, you can set it, I set it to send messages to the newest requests first.
That's right. If they'll remember that they sent you the request. More like sometimes if you haven't run the extension for a while, you might have people from a month ago, and they're not going to remember that they reached out to you.
And, you know, you can set the timing, you can set the number of messages that it sends every day. You've got to be careful not to send too many, otherwise Facebook could flag you for, you know, sending too many messages. And the great thing about this is, again, you can set it to delete the request and turn the person into a follower after a certain amount of days. So I've actually set it to after 5 days. That's not very much, actually, but you know,
somewhere between 7 and 14 is probably a good 1 to 2 weeks. Give yourself time to reply, and if you know, if they don't reply in that amount of time, then I mean, they're obviously not going to be a good connection to make.
Exactly. So, you know, that's basically the way it works. You know, when you've set it up, you just turn it on and it's just running. They have recently added this LinkedIn feature, which I think you haven't used either, have you? I haven't.
I don't really use LinkedIn very much, but I know I should. So I'm going to be looking into LinkedIn and actually finding out how it would work, because if that could be something that we could utilize to get more leads faster.
If you get value out of these videos, make sure that you like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell so you get notified every time that I upload new video. If you have any requests for videos, let me know in the comments. I'm here to serve you, and I want to make sure that I'm making videos on subjects that you want to learn about.
Especially if this tool works for it, then it'd be definitely something to look into. One thing that I've been doing is when somebody sends you a friend request, they're not opting into anything from you, and they haven't, you know, it's not like if you join a Facebook group, they've given you an email list, you know, they join your email list, because that's really where since you're on several platforms, your real presence is your email list. Because if you got shut down on one platform, you still have your email list. So one thing that I do is I include a link, and I use like a shortened link. You can use bit.ly or any of the other link shorteners and add them here. And you could have that link that goes to a lead magnet, which people will opt into your email list in order to get. That way, somebody that sent you a friend request is now opted into your email list, because even though they are the ones that reached out and tried to, it could even be another marketer or somebody online that is now on your list and now in your ecosystem because they reached out to you.
That's an absolutely excellent idea, actually, Jonathan. Absolutely. I must say I haven't done that, but you're giving me an idea. Absolutely.
Make sure that you put a different shortened link in every single message. That's one thing that I'd recommend. Put a different shortened link in every single one, so it doesn't look like you're just sending the same link to every single person that sends you a friend request.
Exactly. That's very good advice. Absolutely.
The thing that I love about it is that it's so straightforward. And I mean, you could scroll down. I just saw that they did add another little feature. They just added it so you could set what time you want. If you want it, before it would start automatically at midnight. So all my friend request messages would come in at midnight. So if you wanted it to seem a little bit more like when you're awake, that's a good little feature that they've added. So you could say, hey, or when you're not using your computer, or when you don't want to, maybe you're going to run a different extension. Like I use a different Chrome extension in order to send friend requests to people and make it personal. So I don't want to run those at the same time. So I schedule those at different times.
Exactly. I do the same. And as you say, exactly, absolutely, that's a new feature. And so that's really, really valuable, really, absolutely. So I pulled up this one, actually, because this was, for me, a really good example that I wanted to share of this very nice person, Dominic. I have accepted the friend request. So for him, you know, where he was the typical example of someone I had no idea why he was sending me a friend request, and And then the message went out automatically, and the reply I got was very interesting for me because, you know, Dominic said, thanks, you're welcome. I watched a number of your Facebook Lives and I like that you're genuine and honest. And that for me was a complete surprise, you know. And one of the things that I find in this online business is that often I think nobody's noticing me or nobody's watching. And actually, suddenly I find out that somebody has been watching that I've never known because they've never reached out to me. So I had no idea in this case, for this example, that Dominic had been watching me in a way. And, you know, then I accepted the request and we had a few conversations, and I'm hoping I was able to help him a little bit. But that was an interesting one where, you know, looking at his profile, I wouldn't necessarily have thought that he'd been, you know, watching me and that I could do anything to help him. But using this tool, it actually, and you know, I might have refused the request, but using this tool, it allowed me to see that actually maybe I could help a little bit, and it was a good friend request to accept.
And Sophie, a big thing about like this is, most people that are out there, they don't know to send, like, if I send a friend request, I know that I need to send them a message along with the friend request. But I only know that because I've been involved in, you know, this online marketing space, and I learned that from being involved in this online marketing space. But there was a point that I didn't know that.
Absolutely,
yeah.
You're perfectly right, totally.
Most people don't know that. So the fact that you're now, and if you're trying to help somebody that's just getting started, they're not very likely to know that. So you need to go down to, not down to their level, but down to where they're thinking of like, oh, this is how somebody just getting started is thinking. Some people are just going to shoot you the thumbs up or like, okay, or something very obvious that they're not going to provide me value and I'm not going to be able to provide them value. I love Chrome extensions, or I think a lot of them are on Firefox as well, but I love the extensions just because they simplify your life and they do things that repetitive tasks that used to take a long time, that just does on autopilot and makes it feel like to the other side that you're still doing it manually, and then you could actually put the attention on the people that, you know, need the attention versus just the people that are wasting your time.
So I hope that you can see how much time a tool like Friend or Foe can save you. Personally, my time is my most valuable asset, and using an automation tool like this allows me to continue to have the time to produce more content and connect with more people. If you want to give Friend or Foe a try, I'll drop a link to it in the description. At the time of this video, Friend or Foe has a free trial, so make sure that you give it a try and see how many connections you make. Do you use Facebook free traffic for affiliate marketing? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, and make sure to check out my organic traffic methods playlist right here. Check it out. Come on.